What's good, everybody? It's your boy Diesel Time from Rough Squatch Art Media, and I'm here to deliver you my review of the Spider-Man Homecoming film, bring Peter Parker back to Marvel. So you know I like to get right into it, so let's do it. This movie kicks right off with Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, played by the brilliant Michael Keaton, and I just want to say I thought they made him turn heel a little too quickly. Now this is a hard-working blue-collar guy doing construction, cleaning up the scene after the Chitauri invasion from the first Avengers movie, and he loses his contract. And I work in a business where you need to get contracts, and sometimes Sierra Club gets the one we want, and sometimes the state is laid on our money. And never has my boss said, all right, we're gonna take our jackhammers and this pickaxe and we're gonna go start robbing banks. Nah, it's never happened. We've just gotten more jobs. So I originally thought having Tony Stark as a mentor character could be useful to tie Spider-Man into the MCU, especially after what we saw in Civil War. I liked what they did there. But after seeing the movie, I thought his presence, it hindered the storyline of Spider-Man because the presence of Iron Man, it decreased what Spider-Man brought to the table. I felt like at any given moment, he could just fly in and one, boo, take him out. And I thought the Happy Hogan character had similar problems. It was his responsibility to make sure that Spider-Man was responsible, and he didn't facilitate that for him. He was kind of a dick, and he just patronized him the whole way. He didn't pick up the phone, he didn't call back, and whenever there was an emergency, he was too busy. He couldn't be heard from. By the end of the movie, I kind of just missed dead Uncle Ben. He was always like, hey kiddo, did you make the team this year? Let's go play ball. He was never a dick to Spider-Man. Dead as he may be, at least it was fond memories of Uncle Ben. So, not only is Iron Man being a bigger douche than usual, but he's also slipping up on the Tony Stark side of the game. Cause it turns out that for the last 8 years, the Vulture and his goons have been stealing the alien tech right under the nose of the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. So who's been taking the inventory? You're fired, dude. Pack your shit. This also leaves me wondering, who bought Avengers Tower? My guess would be Norman Osborn, and if they're smart about it, they're gonna launch that in Homecoming too. As for the fancy spider suit, some people did like it, some people didn't. I kind of like it. I think it's a smart way to bring Spider-Man into the 21st century, give him some gadgets and some tech that are believable in the modern era, keep him relevant when there's guys like Tony Stark. And if he's going to be building the suit, it makes sense that he would go all out and give him everything that he would need. If he's going to be an Avenger one day, you don't want him running around in his pajamas. Now, Karen, the AI suit lady, I could have done without her, but I actually kind of enjoyed her dynamic with Spider-Man, so, take it or leave it. So I've been beating up on this movie a little bit, but I think it had a lot of dope qualities too. For example, the young adult cast, they had a lot of fresh energy. This unapologetic, unfiltered teen, just, angst and excitement and nervousness and all that high school drama that you don't see in like a Captain America movie or a Thor movie. You gotta switch it up in the MCU, and you got all these films. And then just in general, for any movie, it's good to see real young people playing high schoolers. I don't need to see a 30-year-old Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield playing Peter Parker. And I don't believe that James Franco is teaching at the university and failing his high school classes. I mean, which one is it? I really enjoyed the character Ned. He sort of functioned as the vehicle for the audience to experience Spider-Man becoming a legitimate hero for the first time on his own. I really enjoyed the comic relief that he brought, as well as the way he influenced Peter Parker, both negatively and positively. There was something very innocent and endearing about Ned, despite him not being the coolest guy or the most suave guy. He just had a big heart, and that really showed through in this movie. So admittedly, I was a little skeptical about the Zendaya character. I just know she played a bunch of parts in Disney, TV, movie, television shows, whatever. But I thought her performance as Michelle was very funny. Her character is obviously very intelligent and very interesting, quirky. I like that about her. As to whether or not MJ means she's Mary Jane, I don't think so. Her character is so different from MJ, and I don't mean her race, I mean her attitude. It's not like any iteration of Mary Jane Watson that we've seen before. Plus her name's Michelle. I don't know why they would say the MJ thing, it's a little confusing, but they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Also, her character clearly has some romantic interest in Peter Parker, although she's not outright showing it. So I'm curious as to see what they're gonna do with their relationship in Homecoming 2, and if it's going to progress after the Liz character. And that brings us to Liz. I thought she was a little plain Jane, but that's fine. Peter Parker's not your average cool guy. He's a bit of a nerd too, so it makes sense that they're on the decathlon team and they're a little quiet, but they enjoy each other's company, so that's fine. Traditionally, Liz has been a minor romantic interest for Spider-Man. She is the brunette to the Felicia Hardy, Mary Jane, redhead blonde trio. So maybe they'll bring in those two in the next films. For now, she's fine. And of course, Mr. Young Tom Holland. He did an excellent job as this new MCU iteration of Spider-Man. He had the charming charisma, the awkward angst, the quick quips, and that sensitive side that we've grown to love from Peter Parker. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all the comedians who dropped in. Hannibal Buress, Donald Glover, Martin Starr, the woman in the elevator, and all the other funny people who I don't know your names, I'm sorry. I like that Marvel, especially Spider-Man, gives comedians roles to pop in and add a little shine, a little humor to these films. Then of course the big heavyweight, Michael Keaton, bringing it in, doing it big. He's so menacing, so intense. Right from the first time he swoops in on that surprise moment, you feel like any altercation going forward, he could just take Spider-Man out with one wing swipe, one alien gun blast. He's so overpowering, you don't know how this poor teenager is gonna overcome this man with responsibilities and the tech to get the job done. This is a very serious guy, and Spider-Man's just a kid, so it had this yin and yang thing that I really enjoyed. I also enjoyed what they did with that dynamic. At the turn of the third act, when Peter comes to pick up Liz for the homecoming dance, and you get the big twist where it turns out his big rival is Liz's father, and then she gives away his secret identity on accident and he figures it out. I really enjoyed the way they did that. I thought that scene had a lot of tension. The dad talk was freaking scary. Oh my god. It brought gravity to the film that it needed in order to push that third act over and have the meaning that it did. And when we get to the ending, Spider-Man and the Vulture leave the film with some sort of understanding, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what the Vulture has planned for Peter Parker and what he's gonna do moving forward now that he has to balance the fact that he was saved by Spider-Man and Spider-Man saved his daughter, and yet he just hates that little bastard. So while I didn't love the origin story of the Vulture, I thought Michael Keaton's performance was fantastic. He brought another meaty villain to the MCU that we haven't really gotten to see since Loki. I kind of wish that they had brought in the blue collar element a little bit more. This is a guy who's just doing what he has to. He's not necessarily an evil person outright. He doesn't want to kill, he just wants to feed his family. And the guy who's stepping on him happens to be Tony Stark. And Spider-Man is supposedly being mentored by Tony Stark, but Tony's not there for him. He's not picking up the phone, he's not giving him the advice he needs. So I kind of would have liked to see Michael Keaton try to win Spider-Man over by saying, hey man, the man is holding us both down, and that happens to be the same guy. So while they could have delivered on that dialogue a little bit, with Disney's involvement through Marvel Studios, I don't think you were gonna see the blue-collar Spider-Man from the comics because they just don't want Spider-Man to be poor, let's be real. While this movie didn't give me everything I wanted, I thought Marvel and Sony worked together great. Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal, they came together and they figured out a way to make a side pocket universe of the MCU that's specifically for Spider-Man to play in. And he's such a special character to all of us. And he's so unique. I think he deserves that special side space in the MCU, and I'm excited to see what they do next. I'm not riding high on this film as some of the other nerd critics, but I would still rank this as the best Spider-Man movie to come out since Spider-Man 2. I think they knocked it out the park. I'd give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Not amazing, but not bad by any means. Alright y'all, that's my review of Spider-Man Homecoming. I gotta get out of here. But I hope you liked it. If you did, press that button. You can also subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you thought. I'm Diesel Time for Squatch Art. Peace.